We have quite a number of great stories about Tesla to update you on today. First, Tesla has now released a new version of full self-driving to employees. What's special about this is it's expected to include support for Hardware 3 cars, which are the older vehicles and most of the Model 3s. Second, Tesla has changed the name of their brand new 3-year bundle that they just introduced, now called the Drive Anywhere Package. For $5,000, you can choose to buy a bundle of free supercharging, premium connectivity, and full self-driving for 3 years. Third, a transportation company called NFI has been testing Tesla Semis, and they came back with a glowing report. They traveled 250 to 450 miles per trip and said the efficiency over 6,000 miles was amazing. Fourth, Tesla announced that they hit a record with their Nevada team, creating more than 500 Powerwalls in a single shift. Tesla just keeps on improving. And finally, Tesla China is attending the World Robot Conference happening right now. They'll bring their Optimus bot along with 27 other humanoid bot companies. And to help me parse through all of this, I've got Brian White, the Brian White. Brian White has his own YouTube channel called FutureAza, and he is just the greatest guy I know. Super smart, super funny. Thank you, Brian.
Wow, man, that's an introduction. These are some great topics. These are all important things, and why? Well, we'll get into that because it's exciting.
It's amazing that every single day there is literally 5 new information about Tesla that's coming out, and almost all of them are very positive. So here's the first one. You've got Tesla finally releasing the FSD. There's been a lot of pushback by us car owners, hoping that we would get full self-driving to test in our cars. But the Model 3s, right? Was it 20 things before the new hardware version, right? Those don't have FSD yet because they're on Hardware 3. This is now coming out. It's no longer just a rumor. It's actually coming soon. This is a nice chart by Tesla Chan. He puts together kind of like the tracking of when each of these versions were released. And here we are in 2024, and you can see that we're halfway there, but we have so many versions coming out still. So the speed of introduction of new versions coming up quickly. What's your thoughts about this new release?
You know, I've seen a number of fudsters on X and other social media and in the news lately saying, oh, it's over, it's done, Hardware 3 will never get FSD. And I have not been able to find any basis for that apart from a small delay in who got which version when. A reminder that Hardware 3 for up until this most recent couple releases was getting the new stuff before Hardware 4. And Hardware 4 owners were saying, this is unfair. How come I have to wait when I have the newest car with the latest, greatest tech? Guys, it's just about reconciling the hardware with the software. It's coming. Just relax.
Just relax. I love it. Okay, so the next storyline here is Tesla has introduced a bundle. So this is just a few days ago, but what they did yesterday was they changed the name of its 3-year bundle with full self-driving, unlimited supercharging, and premium connectivity. It's now called the Drive Anywhere Package. The Drive Anywhere Package, you get these bundles for 3 years. But Brian, this is just for Model X and X. Is that right?
Yeah, it sure is. And why? Well, the first reason is those vehicles need more incentive for buyers. They're not flying off the shelves like the 3 and Y. And these are vehicles more likely to be bought by the kinds of people who only keep a car for 3 years. If you're only keeping a car for 3 years, why would you need to spend $8,000 on FSD supervised when you could spend $3,600 to just rent it for the time? And a lot of people don't even rent it for the time, so we're going to push them a little bit more because this is a heck of a deal. For 36 months, like we said with the FSD alone, it's $3,600. That means you've only got $1,400 left to make up. Another $300 of that would be your premium connectivity, which means that when you're all said and done, that unlimited charging comes out to like $1 a day. It's very affordable, and it's if they were to put this on the 3 and Y, it would be so popular that the Supercharger network would likely be overwhelmed.
Wow. Okay, you have a lot of great information I didn't know, and I'm sure our audience didn't know. That makes a lot of sense. I still don't think it makes like it doesn't. It's not a massive deal. I don't think this is such a great deal per se, but I love that we're heading into bundles. I think when we get into bundles, you're now turning into a software as a service company. So this is what they're showing right now. And so just a reminder, they just launched this a few days ago. And it's this is initially it was just a bundle. Now they called it, they would show a 3-year bundle. That's what they called it, right? So if you buy full self-driving for $8,000, you can buy it straight out, or you can buy the 3-year bundle if you don't want to buy that. So it's just another way to say to bundling the monthly FSD with supercharging and premium connectivity. Why not do it? Makes sense that way because you're likely going to do this, and you want to get them to prepay for the supercharging if you can.
And also go back to that real quick, because you notice the verbiage on full self-driving supervised has been adjusted to almost anywhere with minimal driver intervention.
Oh, nice.
This is a whole lot stronger language in terms of the law. This leaves you unlimited outs in terms of people saying, well, I was just sure it'd be ready in a month or two or whatever it may be.
Yeah. So in the Tesla Chan, thank you, showed the web configurator. This is what it looks like now. So you've got the ability to choose between full self-driving supervised for $8,000 or the Drive Anywhere package. I love it. That's a great name. Drive Anywhere. And then if you did buy this, then you could still buy this bundle, but just $2,000. You see? Yeah. So I love it. Makes sense. And again, this is just them pitching. And you know what? They can keep adding more and more to this package, to this bundle. And it makes sense. It's just going to happen.
And if you look at the 2,000, you take the 300 off for premium connectivity, because that does have a real cost. That's 1,700 left. What are they actually paying for the juice? They're probably paying around 10 cents a kilowatt hour. So that 1,700 is 17,000 kilowatt hours. You get about 3 miles to the kilowatt hour. So times 3, that's 45,000 miles. They're still breaking even.
Nice. So I love this. Tesla Yoda said, will be called Ride Anywhere soon instead of Drive Anywhere.
Oh, yeah. Smart you are.
There you go. That's why I keep you around, dude. All right. This is just for fun, guys. But Waymo has been having a problem with their self-driving vehicles when they come together in their parking lot to get charged late at night at 4 a.m. San Francisco, residents are complaining because they all start honking each other while the Waymo directors come out and says they won't do that anymore. We fixed it. So let's watch a little bit of this.
Well, they're singing the song of their people. Well, the car in front of me's not going, so what am I going to do? I'm going to honk, Gotta nudge that guy along.
It's not terrible, but okay.
Not, I mean,
so that's fun.
At 3 a.m., it's going to be a lot worse.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's just a little bit of fun there. But the Waymo said that they're going to fix that problem. It's a small, minor thing. But hey, we're headed towards an autonomy future. And isn't that cool to see all those autonomous cars in one parking spot and they're all moving around by themselves? This is the future. So you got a new report from this transportation company called NFI. They've been piloting these semi trucks. And look what they said. Our team delivered goods on routes between 250 to 450 miles, supported by fast charging infrastructure. Over 6,000 miles, the Semi demonstrated an efficiency of 1.64 kilowatt hour per mile, with 60% of those miles covered at speeds of 50 miles per hour greater, enabling us to evaluate more sustainable solutions for our customers. They did this on a LinkedIn post showing their Tesla Semi, and they're just very happy. I mean, it worked. Is this what you would expect?
It's exactly what I would expect, especially with it being this late in development. This is, we've seen some successes and some failures, I suppose. The one failure, notably the big fire, but we don't have all the details on that yet. But this is the kind of, range and expectations we wanted to see and needed to see.
Okay. And then again, just for fun, this person, Cam, shared a photo of a supercharger. He called it a supercharger. Is this for a Tesla Semi? Well, it's actually a mega charger for the semis in Utah. Here's what the photo is. Somebody else, I guess, posted this. But what looks like to me is a mega charger, but it's on a pallet. It looks like it's a mobile mega charger. What do you think, Brian?
So I'm confused by by the mobile part of it, yes, it can be moved around, but it's not like it's going to be connected to batteries. It's going to be connected to whatever the live power source is there. So I don't know how you manage that, but this is fantastic. This is going to allow them, especially in the testing phase, the opportunity to rapidly deploy to areas they need to make sure that it's going to work for the routes that they're doing. So they're going to, I assume, have a customer in mind who's going to look at 10, 20, 30 trucks and say, we'll do a pilot. And we will put a station to charge in this location if it works, but we're not going to do it today because that'd be a huge cost. So we'll just do a temporary one instead. And I think that's the right way to roll it out.
Can you give me more information on the Tesla Semi? You have been following this closely. It has been delayed, but tell me everything you know. Summarize what's been happening, where we're at today.
So we thought it'd be out by now. Of course, you can blame some of it on the pandemic delays and part shortages and all that, but the reality is they just haven't had the batteries. And while Elon had said we have enough batteries for all of our vehicle and stationary storage needs, it's leaving out some critical details like we wouldn't have enough if we also were doing, 10,000 semis a month, because you're talking close to 1 megawatt of power on each truck. It's over 800. I've seen numbers estimating it as high as 920 kilowatt hour pack. And those are Nevada made 2170 cells that come from right next door where the batteries themselves are made. So if you've got, it looks like the plan was to have all production in Texas using 4680s. We saw they made Model Ys with 4680s for a brief time when they had batteries but nothing in which to put them. My belief is that as 4680s continue to ramp, they'll be able to use those in Texas for all Cybertrucks and Model Ys, and that would free up the supply of 2170s out of Nevada to go into the Semi. And I think that's been the big delay, and especially with all the hatred for foreign-made batteries, they were going to have to get the domestic supply in motion and fairly quickly. So hopefully we'll see that. And then we've also got the LFP battery equipment, which was purchased from CATL. CATL sent their techs over to get the line in and running, which is great because these are the people with experience with these exact machines, these very machines that are being put up. And then we could have LFP cars made in the U.S. with U.S. batteries, again, freeing up 2170s for more important uses like the Semi.
And then is it a 50,000 capacity factory that's going to go full production? When is that coming?
I don't. Well, which one? Their Panasonic is got their
no, not the batteries. The Semi factory.
Oh, well, we don't know the real number. 50,000 would be a good number. 120,000, I think, would put them at number one in the U.S. So I don't think they're going to target that as their launch expectation, because today the truck isn't ideal for every purpose. Until you get chargers around the country, you're probably not going to want to do a lot of coast-to-coast hauls with it. But for anything that has under 400 miles a day of expected travel, and you can return to base each night, it's going to work great. And then the next delay is, can you get enough power at your depot to charge 5, 10, 100 trucks? 100? No, you're going to have to pull power all the way from the substation for that. And you might have to upgrade the substation itself. But to get started on this prospect is not impossible.
Okay. Next story. So we've got announcement yesterday. Tesla Energy said that their Tesla Nevada team hit a record. They can now produce 500 Powerwalls in a single shift. Here's a photo of the team, at least 500 Powerwalls in a shift. So assuming that's 8 hours, right? What do you think about this record?
Well, it could be 10 hours. I don't know what the shift schedule is, but either way, these are fantastic numbers. And you know what the margin is on these. The margin is very fat on Powerwalls because there's so little competition. Other companies make products just like it, but we don't know what their profit is. We don't know how efficient their production is because nobody's making them in this kind of volume. We know that when Tesla makes them, they're very profitable. And the more you can make them, the better. I saw someone on X posting that based on the numbers we're seeing now, they could produce their millionth Powerwall by the middle of 2025. That would be, it'd be magical. And the addressable market is vast. And as the price comes down, which it always does, the addressable market expands. So this is just, I see posts like this and I just hear a little cash register going off.
You do? Okay.
I do.
But what I see is innovation and progress. Performance improvement is always something that they focus on. So they're hitting a record here, hitting a record there. Shortly, I want to talk to you about the Megapack factory in China, how that is a record in 3 months only of construction beginning. They're at 45% already in building that. So they're fast. Tesla's fast, and they try to keep improving. So the other thing that's happening right now, is Tesla China is part of this 2024 World Robot Conference in China. It's big, and we'll talk about what that is exactly. It's happening between August 21st to 25th, happening right now. And Tesla is going to be showing off their robots, Cybertrucks, and FSD here. This is just a fake image that Tesla Chan did for fun. This is the actual image here of the actual presentation in the Expo conference. There's a Cybertruck there, and then there's a humanoid bot here. This is the Optimus. This guy, Rick Gilbert, shared this with me. He said, did you check out the biceps and shoulders? Because it sure does look like a different version than the previous Optimus. He's right. I don't call it a V3 though. This is still, for me, a V2.5, V2 and a 0.1. Sure, the biceps look different, but it's everything else still fairly similar, particularly the hands, because they said that they're going to, for V3, they're going to completely change the wrist, the forearms and the hands to make it a 22-degree freedom. This one is still the 11-degree freedom version of it, but they're showing them off. So this is, this World Robot Conference is a big deal. You'll see that there's 27 vendors that are there. There we go. 27 humanoid robot enterprises and many other, like hundreds of other bots, not just human, but 27 humanoid bots are there now, and over 30 related industry chain companies are showing up there. So it was started to be held in 2015, so it's been almost 10 years here, and it's just getting better every single year. Looks like go ahead.
So I had a chance to go to the battery show last year, the North America Battery Show, and there were very few battery companies there because there are very few battery companies. They all had very large booths, very fancy stuff, but the overwhelming majority of people there were tier 2, 3, and 4 suppliers, people who make parts and supplies and equipment that go all the way up the chain in batteries, companies that have a welder that can go down inside the center of the 4680 and weld inside the ribbon there. And that's what I assume we're going to see when we get reports back from the robot show, is all the companies that say we make the cleanest copper for the actuators. We make the if you want to ramp up quickly, we can do your limbs faster than anyone else, your cast piece, your magnesium, whatever you need. And it's exciting to see a convergence of technology coming together like this, because all these pieces are needed. And unless you're Tesla, and even then, you can't do it all by yourself. You need all the little pieces to make it work.
Yeah, I'm going to do a show of the explosion of the humanoid bots in China just last week. Astrobot and, all these. I got a whole list of all of them coming out with demos, and they're very, very impressive.
When you saw 27, did that number strike you as low?
These are the Chinese ones, primarily the Chinese ones. It is definitely low. This is the humanoid version, but there's more. There is just way more than the ones that they're showing here. But yeah, so let's take a look at this conference. And again, I'll do a show once I get video coming from this conference, because last year it was very, very impressive of the video of that when they released that. So there is a main forum, 25 special forums, last for 3 days. Okay. Robot exhibition, which is the most popular for visitors, held at the same time. 169 enterprises will exhibit more than 600 innovative products, including more than 60 new products. That's pretty cool. And a total, this year, the most popular appearance of humanoid robots, a total 27, have appeared in robot products. More than 30 enterprises appeared. So this is what their description of Optimus. First of all, look how interesting this is. And I know this is a translation, so we can't take these words for real at this point, but cyber off-road station wagon. Remember how, didn't you and I report one time that in China, they might consider not calling it a truck? If they call it like a wagon, they might be able to get past certain rules and regulations.
Certain silly regulations, yeah.
Yeah. It could be this is the reason why it's called a wagon there, but it could also just be a translation snafu kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then here, the Optimus humanoid robot is going to make its debut in Beijing. 28 movable joints throughout the body, 11 degrees of freedom. This is how you know it's the old version. They're not showing you the new one. They have not yet shown the new one. They're not going to show it off here first.
Right.
And then the rest is just basically, we're not just a car company. So yeah, what's your thoughts about them coming out to China? A lot of people are saying that you don't do this. You don't show off your technology because there's a lot of people will just copy it straight out.
And that is the absolute reality. Elon has said it so much. After AI days 1 and 2, everyone said, where's AI day 3? And he said, yeah, the very, very little we showed on the last ones really kickstarted our competition to emulate what we're doing. And so we're going to be a little more cautious and reserved with showing the secret sauce. And that makes sense. You can have a demo showing your previous generation of product, and you notice there's nothing out on display that's actually working and moving. This is to do some recruiting, I imagine, but also just to keep Tesla in the minds of all the industry professionals as being in this space. And I think that alone is important.
Thank you, Brian. So as a bonus, I do want to ask you, because you are one of the top experts in our community here about factories, vehicles, production. You follow it like a hawk. You're just brilliant at what you know. So I thought you'd be happy to hear about this. I already did a show on this before, but basically just a few days ago, right? This is breaking news. Tesla China came out and they said that their construction of their Shanghai Megapack factory is now 45% complete. Brian, you follow the factory. You're one of the people in your channel. You show videos of the factory being built and you follow it along like this, just like Joe Techmeyer does in Texas. They complete 45% of it in just 3 months after construction started. It's a new record. They shared a progress photo as well as a rendering of what the photo of the factory will look like when it's complete. Grace Tao is a global vice president in China. She shared this information in the Weibo. And you can see here that it's a $200 million factory, capacity of 10,000 units, 40 gigawatt hours. Sounds very similar to the Lathrop. 10 billion of revenue per year from this one factory, but it's an area of 200,000 square miles. It's like 3.5 times what Lathrop is. And this is Grace Tao, and this is the photo she shared about the current status. 3 months later, here's what it looks like now.
So leave it on that slide. The 200,000 square meters from everything I can find is probably the entire site location, not the building.
Yeah, right.
Because I really tried to find this location so I could look at it on a map, and I was not able to find it. At least when I looked. I'm sure if I look again today, maybe I'll find it, but it's going to be about the same size as Lathrop. I looked at this picture, I compared this picture to Lathrop, and it's definitely not 10 times bigger. That'd be a lot of factory. Does this surprise me? No, absolutely not. This is what I've been saying. When they officially broke ground, they said, well, they're expecting it in like Q1. Is that even possible? I said, absolutely. You got to combine two things, Tesla speed and China speed. Those two things together are unstoppable. If you look at the first factory, when China's construction was still using older equipment that was a bit undersized for the project, they still had phase 1 of Giga Shanghai up and running within 10 months, from mud field to trial production in 10 months. And this factory is much smaller. It's almost entirely on a single floor. It is moving at the pace I expected, because they swarm in and get it all done quickly. The biggest delay, of course, is if you're using concrete, you need to wait typically 30 days before you can actually attach heavy stuff on top of it. Otherwise, it's not fully cured. But once the concrete's dry, you just kick it into high gear and away you go. And that's what we're seeing. This will be in production in Q1. I have absolute confidence.
Q1. It could be done before the end of this year.
Oh yeah, no, it could be done and it could be producing, but yeah.
For sure, by Q1.
The target was always Q1, and I don't like to give the fudsters any room to
exactly
manipulate.
It's very
my
likely
words.
Q1. Look how great this is. It's only $200 million to create a factory like this. That's going to create $10 billion of revenue per year from this one factory. And for me, gosh, if they can, they built Lathrop. This is China. They're building this in some record speed. They can probably produce another one or two of these in China. And that's just, pop them out now. Pop them out.
Yeah, the trick is when moving goods, you want things that are easy to put on a ship. And these are very heavy. These are oversized loads. The version 1 of Megapacks, you could put on any semi and haul it. It was only about, I want to say 50,000 pounds. The new one's more like 83,000 pounds. It's already, without the tractor trailer, it's already over the weight. It is an oversized load. So that creates some shipping and logistics problems. But when you look at $200 million to build it, oh, that's a lot of money. Oh, wait, it's going to bring in $2 billion a year in profit. You're right. It makes no sense to stop there. As fast as that battery supply can expand for cells, keep putting up more of these. And the biggest risk you run is that you're so fast and so efficient that you chew into addressable market prematurely. But if the factory only costs a few months of profit, who cares? If in 2 years you find that you've run out of market, who cares? Demolish the old factory. It doesn't matter. It paid for itself so many times over. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay. And then new information came about Tesla China sales just last week. They reported 14.3 thousand Tesla registrations for the week of August 12 to 18. The quarter is 34% quarter over quarter and 16.4% versus last year's Q3, the best quarter after 7 weeks. So, but year to date, we're still negative 1.2% compared to last year, but a second highest week of the quarter. So we're going to surpass last year already. Here's in red is 2024, in yellow is 2023, and we're pretty well there. We're pretty well caught up, and we're going to probably go higher than it was last year, but certainly better than 2022. That's where we're at. And then Roland Percher at Pololi said Tesla's year-to-date sales in China are still slightly negative compared to last year, but 6 weeks left in this quarter. We can expect sales tendency over 15,000 per week. I think after calendar week 34, sales will surpass last year's sales at some point. Last year's sales were declining at this time because of the Model 3 Highland update. They had to shut things down. So in this graph, you can see the red is 2024. We're only in the week 34 of this year. And then you can see, of course, last year, the sales plummeted because they had to introduce the new Model 3 Highland. And so we're going to expect this year to go right up, probably even better than the green, which is 2022. What are you expecting for the next half? Yeah.
What I'm thinking is that they may, instead of starting the changeover to Model Y refresh, the Juniper, in Q4, they may push it to Q1, just so that this year is a blowout. If they start to switch over, we're going to see a similar dip. We may not surpass China's 2023 numbers, depending on how the changeover goes. I believe they would again do it one model at a time, perhaps start with the long range or the standard range and leave performance for last. But if they push that out to Q1, then they've got all of next year to claw back those shortfalls from the lack of production for those changeover weeks. So this is not surprising to, I think, you or I, but I think there's a lot of people who really want to believe that this is the end of the road every week, every month, every quarter since at least 2019. And again, one of these days, maybe they'll be right, but today does not appear to be that day.
Okay, I think you're a savant. Is that okay to call you a savant?
It doesn't bother me. It's a promotion from idiot, so I'm glad. It's a big.
You're a
big
factory brilliant genius. Okay, your knowledge of factories and these things that you're just talking about, right? When are they going to do the Model Y refresh? Because last year they did in the third quarter, and you saw a fall. So you'll see whether or not they're going to do it this year or next year. I agree with you. They probably won't do it this year. The only thing I would say is that next year they're planning to do the 2 more affordable vehicles. And so maybe they might have to do the refresh this year so that they're not introducing so many production changes.
They're not needlessly buried in that. But I think that the other factor is that the Model 3 was really long in the tooth by the time they did the major update. And the Model Y is still quite a bit newer. So it's still selling like crazy. So
yeah, there's no rush. Okay, thank you so much. This is why you need to follow Brian White on his YouTube channel, FutureAza. This is the brilliance. And then not as funny today. So disappointed. I'm never disappointed. See you soon. Bye-bye. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.